Hey, all right. So, sorry about the shaky cam. What I'm going to do today is a flip through of both the comparison of the original Rider-Waite Tarot pack from 1993 and the Rider-Waite and the original Rider-Waite Tarot deck in this box from 1999. And yeah, so let's do it. Basically, I want to give back to other tarot lovers like myself, because these kind of videos have helped me over the years, and I want to just contribute one. I might contribute some other ones too, but this is one that I have on hand right now. So on the left we have the Made in Italy, and this is important because these in the up until the 90s, decks were printed in Belgium, and this beautiful cardstock. It's beyond compare. No, I lie. AGM cardstock is still king. Now, I am a cardstock snob because I feel that cards need to behave like cards. And also, I noticed that with the I don't know, the sudden resurgence in tarot popularity, or rather tarot deck purchasing popularity, a real decline in quality. Decks that are currently sold by US Games, printed in China, are just atrocious. Anyway, and I don't have a current US Games deck to compare because they're atrocious. The cardstock is like thick, and just does not behave like cards. But anyway, I digress. So let's start with this. So this is the Made in Italy, and I know maybe I should have put the older one on the left and the newer one on the right, but I don't know. This kind of makes sense to me. Okay. First of all, the thickness between the two is different. I don't know if you can tell, but the one printed in Italy, the cardstock's a little thinner. Well, honestly, thinner is better than thicker. Okay? All right. Also, I wanted to point out something that I don't think anyone else has mentioned, because usually tarot deck reviews are done by people that are new to tarot, or you know what I mean? Like it's not us old folks that are talking about tarot decks. Another thing that's changed about tarot decks in the last 20 years is the width. If you have in your possession any US Games printed in Belgium, compare it to any of your brand new ones, because they are smaller. They are more narrow, so they are narrower. So they've literally shaved off a couple of millimeters, and I'm sure it's to save cardstock. They've shaved off a couple of millimeters on the sides. If you are a seasoned tarot reader, you'll notice it's a different feeling holding a vintage deck versus a newer deck. Now, this is still considered vintage because it's 20 years old, but like it's over 20 years old, but this one is very much in line in terms of size, at least the width of the cards, with the current US Games. There's a difference in hand feel. The feel of the deck is very different with the extra 2 millimeters in width. Also, what that does, it kind of scrunches the image a little bit. So if you're ancient like me and you know what it was supposed to look like, and you receive a new one that you replace, you're going to be a little disappointed, as I have been. All right, but that's pretty much it. Pardon the sneezing and whatever in the background. I have an elderly relative in my home and they don't care. I'm recording a video. Anyway, let me continue. So here we have, I'm going to just do a flip through. And yeah, so made in Italy, printed in Belgium. So it's got the same thing. Already you see it's higher contrast, the one on the left. And here we go. I don't know, should I put them closer? Does that help? Oh my God, I'm talking to you like you can answer me. And here we go, asked and answered. I scooched them a little bit closer together. The backs are similar. In the backs, you can see that this one's higher contrast. And if you look at the lily, it's squished in the center a little bit, right? So yeah, this is really if you care about these things. I kind of do, because I don't have, anyway. I'm just going to do the flip through. Okay, and if something comes, so they both have the copyright, that's fine. But you'll see that the one on the left is redder. And also the image is a little shrunken. So that maybe that also contributed to the difference in coloration. I don't know. I don't print. Here we have the sunburnt face of the magician, and here he's just got a little flush. Now I like how the extra, so this deck has more red in it. And I like what it does to the title bar, but I hate what it does to the cards, to the imagery on the cards. So you see, it's just, they bumped up the red, which I don't know why, but that seems to be a thing. Like all the current US Games decks I've seen, especially in that were decks I knew from the 90s, they're all, you know, they really amped up the color saturation, and it's not, anyway. Here we go. The one on the right, of course, just looks cleaner. The lines look cleaner because it's not as... The squishing does make the difference. And it's probably more evident on camera than it is. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. Here's a card. This Justice card is a hot mess. It originally was a little bit of a hot mess, but at least it's clearer and it's you know. Also, you could see that it was squished. Oh, you know, yeah. The one on the left is squished. The one on the right is a beautiful deck. And I'm just going to keep going. I love the blues in this deck. They're, you know, the aqua blues. I love, yeah. So I'll just keep going. I'm feeling, yeah, see this one's squished. It's a couple of millimeters, but to someone who's been looking at the same cards almost their entire life, the same imagery, I notice every little minchiata. Anyway. Now, if the faces were like, you know, if the faces were visible, or if everyone didn't have like, you know, a sunburnt face, for the most part, I don't mind this coloration. I find it's nice. Like I like it, except for, you know, when there's so much color saturation, you can't make out the details. Like in the Justice card. The Justice card is like the worst. It's it's interesting. In terms of card feel, here I'm going to do this with the, this is a nice, beautiful, has that waxy, Belgian quality. This is its cheap cousin. Better than the printed in China ones that are like twice as thick as these, but it's not a nice cardstock the way this is. This has a little bit of resistance. This doesn't. This will crease, like, you know, I'm sure it'll crease. Now there's so many of these RWS decks out there. Oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Take your pick. There's Mass Market, came out with all kinds of variations on this on the coloration of this deck. There's indie people that are coming out with all kinds of coloration ideas of this deck. The really contrived vintage, where it's like, you know, the cards look dirty and stuff like that. I prefer to vintage my own decks from use, but that's, you know, that's personal taste, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, it's, if you're just collecting, well, I guess you don't care. But if you're someone who is an old timer like me, I kind of I like what they're doing with the vintage colorations, but at the same time, it feels fake, because it is, right? It's fake aged, because, you know, the item actually feels brand new and looks brand new, except for the John Travolta, everybody. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Oh, I forgot to point out there's also other faces that I see, but doesn't matter. I've already passed them. Or maybe not. No, I haven't. Like, this is beautiful. Again, the blues. The one inconsistency in this deck that, because I'm nitpicky, always bugs me is this card. There was no staining done to this card, or no aging. Like, it doesn't have that yellow cast. Like, this is stark white. I see Benicio del Toro here. I love that card. Oh, okay. Here's a card. This one's hard to see under the best circumstances. It's a freaking snowstorm. And they're outside a church. These two cards pretty much look the same, though. Just a hair of a difference in coloration. In saturation, sorry. Oh, let's see what I did here. Like, I apologize if my hands have been in the way the whole time. I wasn't looking through. Oh, I did that again. Okay, here we go. Here's another very busy card. And it it's clearer on this side. In person, I don't know about on camera. And the King of Pentacles, Gino Vanelli. If you're old enough to know who Gino Vanelli is. If you're from Montreal, you know who Gino Vanelli is. And this is the King of Pentacles. Looks like Gino Vanelli. All right. And again, you could see that this is like quite muddier because of the bump and contrast and saturation. And this one's clearer. You can make out the grapes better. And all right, that's it for me for this. This was just, I wanted to do a little comparison. Again, if you care about these things, made them, you know, printed in Belgium is the way to go. I had a printed in Belgium Halloween tarot, and was an idiot. I trimmed it like in 2016 or something like that, and then I was really unhappy because it, you know, I didn't like it trimmed. And then I replaced it with a US Games one that is literally this thick and just horrible. And I'm happy I sourced a printed in Belgium from the 90s Halloween tarot, again, for the obvious reasons: higher quality, better quality. So one of the main reasons I'm not buying decks anymore is because the prices have gone up and the quality has gone way down. Again, I understand commerce, and I understand why, but I really feel that as a person who's been a tarot reader for decades, who doesn't, you know, who doesn't collect just to have it on a shelf and to, you know, and everybody does whatever the hell they want, but that's not what I do. It's like when I first got cable, you know what I mean? So many channels and nothing to watch. There's so many decks out there, and there is nothing at all for me to care about, honestly. And yeah, and at this point, I don't foresee it getting any better. Everything, not just tarot decks, everything, the quality has gone down. Now we have, we used to have fast fashion, now we have fast tarot decks because they churn them out at an alarming pace. And yeah, I don't know. It just makes me sad. It makes me sad. And I'm going to hang on. I'm going to hang on to what I have. And I've really slowed my roll in terms of purchasing new decks. I did get some new decks during Leo season for birthday to refresh my arsenal a little bit, and where it was a very interesting experience for me because since I don't watch the latest, the greatest, the unboxings and all that stuff, I was able to make some really good decisions, purchasing decisions for myself. And that made a world of difference. So if you're watching this and you're feeling like overwhelm and all this stuff, I'm going to tell you what I keep telling everybody, what I keep saying on my channel: stop watching unboxings, stop chasing the latest. Because in case you noticed, or in case you haven't noticed, you'll see an unboxing and you'll love what you saw, and then you save up for it, whatever, or you wait until you go to a store, or you wait till it comes to your area, you wait till it's available to you, you wait till you trade for it, whatever the case is. And by the time you get it, well, you know, the tarot YouTube sphere has already moved on to the next latest and greatest. And I'm not about that life, people, at all, at all, at all. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. I've said it all before, right? But going back, they've shrunk the cards by 2 millimeters and in width. And cardstock is shit. So, so if you have a deck you love, hang on to it. Okay, no, I'm not. I don't want to be beating this dead horse. This was just a comparison of the original Waite tarot deck from 1999, made in Italy, and the original Waite tarot deck, printed in Belgium. 1993, this is what the box looks like. 1999, this is what the box looks like. It's by itself. It's not in a double box. I don't know what the box that's this shape, but with this graphic, what that deck is like, because I don't have it. All right, that's it. I've talked enough. I've said too much. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.